Today I'm going to show you how to do a very easy beginner watercolour underwater scene. So let's get the brushes wet and let's get started. And we'll start off by simply wetting the paper, that's all we need to do. And wet it probably a couple of times, allowing the water to soak into that paper. Once it's soaked in, then we can start to apply the colours over the top. I'm going to start off with cerulean blue first of all, but leaving more light towards the top. Then we use the phthalo blue for those mid-tone areas, but more from the middle sections down to the bottom. Now think about the middle of the top of the picture as being a central point, okay? Then pull up some lines in the shape of an arc towards that top section, but lifting off that brush as you get towards the top. Remember, we're trying to keep the top area fairly light if we can. Right, let's darken this mixture down a little bit. So I'm going to go for some Payne's Grey and drop this into the bottom section now. So we've got the lighter tones, we've got the mid-tones, and now we've got the darker tones on there. Then all we need to use then is a clean damp brush, lifting off paint from the top downwards. But do make sure that you wash that brush out each time, okay? Because you want to keep that top area nice and pale. Then tidy up the edges. I like to do that because when you do remove the tape later on, if it's still a bit damp, then it can make a little bit of a mess. Now it's time to add the details using a size 2 brush. And for that I'm going to go for the lamp black with a little bit of phthalo blue. Black on its own can be very flat, can't it? So add a blue or a red or anything like that to that colour, just to kind of change the properties a little bit more. And then you can start to paint in as many sea creatures as you want to. Have a look on the internet for some designs. There's plenty of free clip art out there, so go onto the usual search engines, then type in free silhouettes clip art. That's all I tend to do. And look for a good variety as well, so it's not all the same in there. And this is where you get complete free reign. You can really have a play with this as much as you want to, and paint whatever sea creatures you want to paint. Opaque white. I want to make this nice and creamy because I want to put some very tiny dots within the water. This will sort of give an impression of bubbles, or you can paint larger bubbles if you want to, obviously using white paint. Now if you haven't got watercolour white, you can use white gouache instead, that will work just as well. And because this is the final layer, you can even use white acrylic paint as well. Do note that when you put the acrylic paint on the paper, there's a good chance you will not be able to get that off afterwards, okay? And then tidy up the edges by removing the masking tape. This is low tack tape, by the way. Now if you do fancy another very easy project and I'd paint a landscape in watercolour, have a look at that link to the top right hand corner of the screen. I'll see you there.